Welcome to Come Get Woo Woo. We're your hosts, Becky and Ro, here to hold space for the unseen, the unspoken, and the deeply felt. This is a place for seekers, for those who sense that there's more, for those who hear between the words, feel beyond the room, and know without knowing why.
Together, we'll explore the language of spirit, the clarity of your clairs, and the signs that rise up when you're ready to notice. You're not imagining it, you're remembering it. This is Come Get Woo Woo.
What if the mountains aren't just scenery, but the Earth's memory banks? What if quartz in the ground beneath your feet isn't just a rock, but a living antenna, pulsating with a heartbeat that's been steady for millions of years? And what if the stillness of the canyon isn't a lack of life, but a consciousness so vast and slow that we've simply forgotten how to listen to it? If you've ever felt a sudden pull towards a specific stone on a beach, felt a strange hum when standing in the red rock vortex, or realized the crystal at your desk seems to know when you're stressed, then this episode's for you. Hey woo-woo seekers, welcome to Come Get Woo-Woo with Becky and Ro. I'm Becky.
And I'm Ro. When people hear minerals or crystals, they often think of jewelry or inanimate objects. But the mineral kingdom is the very foundation of our existence. It is the literal bone of the planet. Across ancient traditions, from the stone people of the indigenous lore of the sacred gems of the Vedic texts, minerals were never seen as dead matter. They were understood as the keepers of deep time, beings that hold history of the stars and the heat of the Earth's core within their lattice. They exist in the foundation, in the massive subterranean beds that act as the Earth's motherboard, and in the Sentry Stones that guard the boundaries of the land. They are tied to the planetary grid, acting as conductors for a consciousness that spans the entire globe. Within this kingdom are the architects of our world, elemental forces that grow structures of light in total darkness and hold frequencies of stability in a world that is always changing. Today, we're exploring the mineral realm not just as geology, but as a living, breathing library, a lens for understanding how we are literally plugged into the planet. Because if the mineral kingdom represents anything, it's this. The earth is not just the platform we walk on. It is a sophisticated, resonant being, and we are a part of its song. The mineral realm is a broad umbrella, but it's the oldest layer of life on this planet. Long before the trees or the fae, there was the stone.
Before we dive into the bedrock of the mineral kingdom, we invite you to help us expand the Woo-Woo Seekers Grid. If this episode resonates with you, or if you've been enjoying our journey through these realms, please take a second to hit the follow button or leave a review.
It's more than just a click. It's how the algorithm knows this frequency is worth sharing. Think of it as your own way of amplifying the signal so that other seekers can find their way to the circle. It truly helps us grow and keeps this content free and flowing for everyone. Now, we're sharing this from a spiritual perspective, not a scientific one. This is a spiritual exploration of the mineral realm shared from our perspective as seekers. Let it be something you feel into, not something you have to prove. So, Becky, what are the roots of the mineral kingdom?
Well, when you walk into a house you grew up in, the walls aren't talking to you, but they hold an energy of every holiday, every argument, every quiet morning. The mineral realm is exactly that, just on a planetary scale. It's the literal walls of our global home. In Navajo wisdom, there's a teaching that often translates into walking in beauty, a way of living in harmony, where the land and the people are deeply connected. So think about the stone sitting on your shelf. It doesn't have an ego. It isn't trying to manifest anything. And it isn't judging your progress. In a world where everyone, including our own minds, is constantly asking us to be something, do something, the mineral realm is the only thing that is content to just be. So in the mineral world, you have the ultimate old soul. If a person has an old soul energy, they are usually calm and unshakable because they've seen it all. A granite boulder has seen empires rise and fall without blinking. When we touch it, we aren't looking for a message. We are borrowing its perspective. We're leaning on something that isn't panicked by a noise of the present moment. Then you have the family heirloom. We treat a ring passed down from great-grandmother with such reverence because it's a physical bridge to her. The minerals in the earth are the ultimate heirlooms. They are the physical inheritance that we all share. Holding the stone is like holding the hand of the very first ancestor. Imagine you're having a chaotic day. Your phone is blowing up. Your to-do list is a mile long. Your brain feels like a browser with 50 tabs open. When you hold a smooth river stone, it's static. Nature acts like a giant mute button for all the chaos because the stone's atoms are locked in perfect, unchanging patterns. They provide a physical boundary for our scattered energy. It's like a hug for the nervous system. It says, I am solid. I am here. I am not moving. We aren't using the mineral realm. We are reuniting with a part of ourselves that just happens to be more stable form. It's like checking in with the responsible part of your family when you're feeling a little lost.
I could definitely relate to the 50 tabs.
I think we all can at points, especially lately for you and I. I don't think it's emphasized enough how just sometimes feeling that rock, they used to call them years ago, they were worry stones. Remember that?
Yes.
And now my education of that is so much higher. So it's kind of interesting. I've always known about like a worry stone, but that I never related it to this until just now.
Yeah, it's funny. I always use crystal when I'm doing a reading. I always hold it.
I do too. Do you have a favorite one?
No.
Just whatever.
I just go up and I just pick one. And I was like, okay, this feel good enough.
But you're using your intuition to probably feel it though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you're like, okay, this one feels like the one I need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. And I like the worry stones though, because they have that perfect indent.
Yeah. Until we started doing the research for this and started looking at everything, I never looked at minerals that way, or stones or crystals or anything.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely not. Like, oh, yeah. Okay, yeah.
and our listeners will find out, and it's like, oh yeah, I never thought of it that way. But like the granite, it literally has seen so much change in its life, and it's still the same.
Mm-hmm. So let's take a look at the data storage. When we look at quartz or silicon, we aren't just looking at pretty decorations. We are looking at the exact same materials we use to run our modern world. Think about it. Every bit of information on the internet is essentially stored on silicon. We've humanized the technology, but the technology is just mimicking what the Earth has been doing for billions of years. Scientists have already developed 5D memory crystals made of nanostructured glass, which is silica, that can store hundreds of terabytes of data for billions of years without degrading. And if we could do that with a small disk, imagine what the Earth has recorded in the quartz veins of a mountain range. every shift in the Earth's magnetic field, every change in the atmosphere, and every massive vibration of the crust is written into the way those minerals are formed. Now, the Earth isn't just a spinning ball of rock, it's a living library. Every time we hold a crystal, we are holding a USB drive that was plugged into the planet during a specific era of history.
See, this is what I'm talking about, that I never thought of it quite this way, but it makes perfect sense. I mean, if you think about, like, when Amy and I were in Sedona, we literally laid on this big, gigantic red rock, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we just kind of just sat with it and meditated right there. And think about how many people have probably done that same thing. So it's holding the energy of every single person that has done that. Yeah,
I'll have to make my way there.
Yes, another trip for a row.
Mm-hmm.
Every mineral has an internal lattice structure, a geometric blueprint that is perfectly organized and never changes. Instead of thinking it as a vibration, think of it as music. So you have the cubic. So this is going to be your anchor. Think of these stones like pyrite and fluorite. These are built like solid, perfect blocks. This is your safe house. It's the geometry of pure reliability. When your life feels like it's spinning out of control, maybe you are moving, changing jobs, or feeling a bit scattered, the cubic lattice is the set point that says, I am solid on all sides. It provides the heavy grounded base that allows everything else to stay standing. So then you have the hexagon. So this is going to be your antenna, so the broadcaster. So find a quartz or an emerald. These grow in 6-sided columns that usually come to a point. This geometry of communication, because its shape, it doesn't just sit there, it channels. It's the antenna. When the seeker is looking for clarity or trying to reach out to the universe for an answer, this is the hardware you're plugging into. It's designed to move energy from the earth up to the sky. Then you have the tritagonal. This is going to be the pillar or the alignment. Think of apophyllite or zircon. These are the cubes that have been stretched tall into long rectangular towers. These are the geometry of perspective. The tritagonal is the observation deck. It's built for height and alignment. It's the hardware you reach for when you need to stand tall and see over the tops of the current problems to find our way forward. Then you have the orthorhombic, the sanctuary or protector. This is found in topaz and celestite. These look like rectangular boxes where every side is a different length, but the corners are still perfectly square. This is the geometry of the room. Because the sides are unequal, it creates a container. It feels like a perspective shield or a private sanctuary. It's the hardware of the holding space. It's for those times when you need to set boundaries and protect your inner peace from the outside world. Then you have the monoclinic. This is going to be the adapter, the resilient lean. This is a massive family, including selenite, jade, and malachite. These crystals are slanted. They have one axis that isn't at the 90-degree angle. This is the most relatable geometry because it is not perfectly upright. It is like a tree leaning toward the light. It represents the ability to stay strong even when things are tilted. If you're going through a period of intense change where you have to bend so you don't break, this is geometry witness. Then you have the triclinic. This is the individual, the misfit. Think of these as labradorite. Amazonianite. This is the most complex system because none of the angles are 90 degrees. Everything is skewed. This is the geometry of self-discovery. It doesn't fit into a neat box, yet it is perfectly internal logic. This is for the seeker who feels like you don't fit the standard mold. It reminds us that our messy parts are actually a part of a highly sophisticated, unique design. Then we have the trigonal. This is the seed, the potential. This is ultimately found in tourmaline and hematite. It's built on threefold symmetry, making it incredibly stable, but also very dynamic. This is the geometry of beginning. 3 points are a minimum needed to create a stable surface in our world. It's the shape of a spout pushing through the dirt. It's the hardware for when you're planting a new idea or starting a fresh chapter in your life. Because of these geometric shapes are structurally perfect and never change, they are constantly radiating a specific, unwavering frequency. When we bring our often chaotic or stressed human energy near these perfect internal lattice, our own systems naturally begin to recalibrate. It's like walking into a room with a massive, perfectly still pillar. Eventually, your own frantic pace begins to slow down just to match that solid, unmoving presence of stone. Ro, do you want to talk about the human connection?
Absolutely. So think of stones like quartz or tourmaline not as static objects, but as coiled springs made of geometry. Inside these crystals, the atoms are locked in a lattice so tight and perfect that they have nowhere to go. And when you apply pressure, the weight of a mountain or the grip of your hand, you aren't just building a rock, you are physically deforming that internal structure. The crystal doesn't just sit there, it fights back. That squeeze forces the stone to cough up a measurable electrical charge. We often think of stress, grief, or excitement as invisible vibes, but they are physical states. Your body is an electrical system. When you're redlined with anxiety, your internal circuitry is flickering and chaotic. And when you pick up a piezoelectric stone, your grip acts as the on switch. So your physical pressure and body heat trigger the stone to start firing tiny, consistent electrical pulses. You have a messy human electrical field, and the stone has a perfect geometric one. So the result, the stone takes your high voltage chaotic energy and runs it through its own rigid structure, sending back a steady, all clear signal to your nervous system. That is why certain stones feel warm or alive in your palm. It isn't your imagination, it is your internal circuit being completed. You are essentially using the stone as a transformer, stepping down the high voltage stress of being human into a frequency your body can actually handle. Before we move on, here's a little exercise that I'd like you to try, but please don't do it while you're driving. Most of us think of crystals as we hold in our hands, but your own body is actually full of these microscopic structures, specifically in your bones and your fascia. Bring your hands together in front of your heart, but don't touch them yet. Just hold them a few inches apart. Take a deep, clearing breath. Now, briskly run your palms together. Feel that friction and that heat building up. And as you do this, you aren't just creating warmth. You're applying mechanical pressure to the crystalline structure in your skin and joints. Now pull your hands apart about 3 inches and just feel. Do you notice that slight tingle, that subtle push and pull, or that buzzing in the center of your palms? That isn't just imagination. That is you experiencing your own bioelectric field in motion. You just turned on your own inner spark. Take one more breath. Let that feeling settle into your chest and notice how much more online you feel in this very second. The concept of the planetary grids suggests that the Earth isn't just a spinning rock in space, but a sophisticated living broadcast system. When we look at the role of large crystal beds within the crust, we are essentially looking at the Earth's motherboard. These massive formations, often miles long and deep beneath the surface, function as a high-speed conductor that manage the flow of planetary consciousness. Because the crystals like quartz are piezoelectric, they respond to the immense mechanical pressure of the Earth's shifting tectonic plates by generating an electric charge. On a global scale, this creates a massive, invisible web of energy. These crystals act as stabilizers and transmitters, taking the raw static of the Earth's core and refining it into a frequency that can be picked up by biological life. I just love the example here to notice that space in between as you rub your hands.
I'm not going to lie, I was doing it. I was trying to be as quiet as I could, but it's totally doing it. And what's funny is when you do that, you can actually push and pull the energy between the palms of your hands. Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. I think Dawn at one point did an exercise like that with our Monday night group. We're going to have to get a picture of all of us so our listeners actually know what we all look like. We talk about them enough times.
Maybe we could do a Zoom picture.
There we go. We'll have to do a Zoom picture.
Everybody say cheese. Do you want to go into the Earth's nervous system?
I certainly will. So if you think of the Earth as a giant organism, these crystal beds are like its nervous system. Just as our nerves carry signals from our brain to our fingertips, the planetary grid carries information across the globe. This is why certain locations, often called vortexes or power spots, feel so much more vibrant or charged. In many cases, these sites sit directly above massive subterranean quartz or granite deposits that are pulsing with information. These grids serve as few vital functions for planetary consciousness. So you have information storage, which is like the silicon chip in the computer. These crystal beds are believed to hold memory of the Earth. They store energetic imprints of everything that has occurred on this planet, creating a living library that sensitive individuals can tap into. These grids help maintain a consistent heartbeat for the planet, often referred to as Schumann Resonance. This steady pulse provides a grounding frequency that helps all living things stay in sync with the Earth's natural cycles. When humanity reaches a collective aha moment or a shift in awareness, these grids act as a megaphone. They help circulate new frequencies across the entire globe, making it easier for others to tune in to the higher state of being. To see this grid in action, you can look at the power outlets where the crystalline energy is more concentrated. So the first one we're going to talk about is actually in Sedona, Arizona. And now, I think we talked about it in our Messages in Motion because I just got back from Sedona. We're talking about 4 ones. These are just the 4 main ones. The whole city of Sedona has energy pulsating through it. Sedona is perhaps the most accessible and well-known vortex hub in North America. The red rocks are rich in iron and quartz, creating a highly conductive environment. So you have the airport Mesa, which is known for electric energy, which is actually masculine. It's about outward movement, clarity, and taking action. You have Cathedral Rock, known for the magnetic feminine energy. It's considered the womb of Sedona. It's nurturing, soft, and perfect for deep emotional interception. You have Bell Rock and Boynton Canyon. These are considered balanced vortexes, where the masculine and feminine energies swirl together, making them incredible spots for centering yourself. So one of the next ones, and it's on my bucket list, is Mount Shasta, California, which is known for its root chakra energy. Many traditions view the earth as having its own chakra system. Mount Shasta is widely considered a root chakra. It is a massive volcanic anchor that feels like a presence. People visit Shasta and feel grounded and connected. Specific spots like Ascension Rock or Panther Meadows are famous for feeling like thin places where the veil between our world and the spirit realm is almost transparent. Now, Amy actually talked about this, and she told me the difference between Mount Shasta. The energy was slightly different, but the biggest difference is Sedona had this bigger city, a more touristy feel to it, and Mount Shasta felt like a very, very small town, more intimate, more private.
Oh.
Yeah. So now, while Shasta is the root chakra, Glastonbury, England, is considered the heart chakra of the world. Or it sits at the intersection of two major ley lines, the Saint Michael, which is masculine, and the Saint Mary, which is feminine lines. Seekers say that these two lines actually mate or intertwine in the summit of the tour. This has a very Avalon feel to it. So it's mystic, it's green, it's deeply healing. So now when I went to England last year, I actually went all the way up to the tour. And if you can survive the trek, because it wasn't easy, it's really high up there. I honestly can't describe the feeling that I had up there. It was so peaceful. And I didn't know that it had the ley lines when I went. So I think now I've got to go back, which is okay. So it's just a spot that I found super, super peaceful, because up there it's super, super windy. And it's like the wind just takes everything away from you.
Oh.
It was very fascinating. I loved it. The next ones are going to be on my list because why not, right?
More traveling for Becky.
So now I might butcher this name, but is Uluru, Australia. This massive sandstone monolith in the red center of Australia is sacred to the Anagogi people and considered the Earth's solar plexus. It sits on the rainbow serpent ley line. The energy is raw, ancient, and incredibly powerful. It's about the will of the earth and the fire of creation. Very neat.
Mm.
And lastly, we have the Great Pyramid of Giza in Egypt. Giza sits at the exact geometric center of the Earth's landmass. It's often associated with the throat chakra, the center of communication and truth, because of its precise alignment. And the granite quartz-rich chambers inside, many believe that it is built as a literal frequency generator to broadcast information across the planetary grid. That's just fascinating. See, now, Ro, you and I have got all these places to go to.
Yes. Australia is a very, very long trip.
It is a very long flight. Didn't Anastasia just get back from there?
Yes, she did. I asked her if she was going to be near there, and she wasn't.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, because I was sending it her way, but no, she wasn't. She wasn't
Well,
near it.
now she'll have to go back, and you'll have to go with her.
I don't know if I want to take that long flight, but we'll see. You never know.
Well, and part of the long flight is the time change, because aren't they like 12 hours difference?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. No, it's quite a bit. I didn't realize that they were part of the ley lines, though, which is kind of fun. I don't know much about ley lines, but yeah.
I don't know if it's similar to the vortex or not, but I guess that's a rabbit hole we'll have to go down into.
Absolutely agree.
So we have more on the Schumann resonance. If the planetary grid is the hardware, the wiring, and the crystal beds, and the vortexes are the power outlets, then the Schumann resonance is the actual current, the heartbeat, the humming through the entire system. It resonates with everything we've just discussed because it provides a synchronizing pulse that keeps the Earth's crystalline nervous system and our own biological systems in tune with one another. The Schumann resonance is a set of spectrum peaks in the extremely low frequency, or the ELF. Portions of the Earth's electromagnetic field, essentially the space between the Earth's surface and the ionosphere, acts as a giant closed cavity. Lightning strikes all over the globe constantly pump the energy into this cavity, creating a standing wave that vibrates at a fundamental frequency of 7.83 hertz. Remember that the core is piezoelectric. When the Earth's crust is under pressure, it creates a charge. The Schumann resonance acts as a tuning fork for the massive crystal beds. It keeps the planetary motherboard humming at a consistent frequency and allowing the grid to transmit information without it becoming static or garbled. The elementals and the mineral kingdom move in that slow motion consciousness we mentioned. The 7.83 hertz frequency is the base layer of that rhythm. It is slow, steady, and ancient pulse. When we talk about deep time, we are really talking about stepping out of our frantic high-frequency human brain waves and dropping down into the Earth's fundamental 7.83 hertz hum. So the famous power spots like Sedona or Glastonbury act as amplifiers for the resonance. Because of the mineral density in these spots, the Schumann frequency is more pure or concentrated there. This is why people feel so balanced in a vortex. Their bodies are literally being retuned to the Earth's natural 7.83 hertz heartbeat.
Fascinating.
Yeah. The most powerful way this resonates with us is through a process called entrainment. In physics, if you put two clocks on a wall, they will eventually start ticking in unison. Our brains do the same thing. Our alpha brainwave state, which is where we feel calm, creative, and in the flow, vibrates around 7.8 to 8 hertz. This is a direct match for the Schumann resonance. When we are stressed or disconnected, our frequency speeds up into beta states. Anxiety and overthinking happen here. But when we connect to the planetary grid, whether by standing on a Sentry Stone or meditating on a crystal bed, our brainwaves entrain or slow down to match the Earth's 7.83 hertz pulse. We are literally coming home to the Earth's frequency. If the Schumann resonance is the song of the Earth, the mineral beds are the acoustic of the concert hall. Without the crystals and the metals in the crust, that frequency would have a way to conduct through a physical world and into our bodies. The Earth's crust isn't about just a container. Because of the high concentration of quartz, silica, and iron, it acts as a giant conductor. These minerals catch the electromagnetic pulse from the Schumann frequency and vibrate with it. This is why standing barefoot on a rock or a beach feels so different than standing on asphalt. You are literally touching the conductor. We talked about the piezoelectricity earlier. When the earth plates shift and squeeze those massive quartz beds, they generate their own electric hum. This underground frequency interacts with the atmospheric Schumann frequency. It is a literal conversation between the sky and the stone, with the minerals acting as a bridge. So different materials might actually resonate with different harmonics of the Schumann frequency. For example, iron-rich hematite or magnetite might ground the lower frequencies, while clear quartz beds might amplify the higher harmonics. This could explain why different power spots feel like having a different note or flavor, even though they are all part of the same global grid. This means that crystals aren't just pretty rocks on a shelf, they are tiny repeater stations for the Earth's heartbeat. When we hold a stone that was born in the Earth's crust, that stone is already pre-tuned to the 7.83 hertz frequency of the planet. The most beautiful part of this system is that we aren't separate from it because our own bodies contain crystalline structures in our bones and connective tissues. We are designed to interface with this planetary grid. When we walk in nature or sit quietly in meditation, our personal field begins to harmonize with the larger grid. It's almost like our internal antenna is finding the strongest signal. This alignment is often why people feel a sudden sense of clarity or oneness when they are in wide open space. They are literally plugging back into the Earth's consciousness network and recharging their own internal battery. I know I have a Schumann
Machine.
little gadget. You do too, right?
Yep, I do. I love the things. I actually just gave one to a friend of mine. She, our granddaughter actually suffers from anxiety, a lot of anxiety. Or I said, "Well, try it." There's a calming feel in the house, and it's because I've got it set at a calming frequency, and you don't ever hear it, but it seems to be a very calming place because of that. I swear by them. Yeah.
Now you have it set to the Earth.
I don't have it set to the Earth. I had it set at 128. I think it's 128.
Do you know which one that is? Because there's all different frequencies for all different things, correct?
There is. I have a whole list. I should, if it wasn't so far away and we weren't recording, I'd actually get that information. But I think 128 is a healing frequency.
Okay. I wonder what I have mine set to. I thought it was lower, but I don't remember now. It's all the way upstairs.
I know. See?
Maybe we could put some of the frequencies out.
Oh, on the extras?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, that'd be cool. So this way we could go back and look too.
Yeah, yeah. So one of the biggest hurdles in understanding mineral consciousness is our human obsession with speed. We live in a world of seconds, minutes, but a crystal experiences deep time. To a mountain or a bed of crystal, a human life is a single flash of lightning, gone before it can truly be registered. If we think of our thoughts as rapid electrical impulses, mineral consciousness is more like a tectonic shift. It moves in cycles of thousands of years. When we meditate with a stone or visit a large crystal bed, we are actually inviting our nervous system to downshift into a deep time. It's why standing in the canyon or a cave feels so profoundly grounding. It forces our frantic monkey mind to synchronize with our rhythm, that ancient, stable, and unbothered by the temporary stresses of human life. One of the things that popped in my head, and I'm trying to think if I felt any different when we went over to the Herkimer mine, because it's a hotbed. And I was thinking about it, and I was like, I was so busy worrying about being hot and uncomfortable that I didn't pay attention. And again, I say pay attention because it really is important. But I don't remember feeling different when we were there. Do you?
I think I was so busy, like, okay, where do we go?
Mm-hmm.
It is very hot. How do we do this?
Right. And that's what I'm talking about, because I was so focused on that part of it, I didn't actually feel. And I'm not saying that we need to go back right now, but I'm like, it might be down the road. We might have to go back just to get a feel of it. Because doing this episode, it is really brought to mind of like slowing down to actually make the feels, as opposed to just hurry up and get it done. And I think that's one of the things I've learned as we've gone through this whole series of so far. And we've so much more to do too. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I was just thinking because Anesthesia went to an opal mine. So I wonder if they felt anything differently. I have to ask them.
Yeah, but I think what it does for me is it's reminding me to slow down, especially when I'm in a special place like that, because we're in a hotbed of crystals and we should have felt a lot more, but I was so busy ignoring that to make sure that I was doing it right. I wasn't smashing my fingers.
Yes.
And the sweat dripping down my face.
It was very hot. Yes. It was very hot that day.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just, we make fun. It's you and I've got this running joke, but it really truly, once you start paying attention to the broader spectrum of things and not just your little life, it's fascinating. It kind of opens your eyes a little bit more.
It does. But you have to slow down.
I know. You got to pay attention.
That too.
So anybody that's doing the word count, how many times can Becky say, I think you put that in a little.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. There you go. You can add that.
How many this episode? 3 now?
Yeah, I think so. Anybody that follows us on YouTube, we've got little quizzes of different things and questions, and that happens to be one of them. And I think it's funny and cute. So, yeah.
Is it a quiz or just a comment? I don't remember.
I think that might be a comment.
Mm-hmm.
We have different ones.
It's all fun.
It is all fun and games.
Mm-hmm. Finally, we have the Sentry Stones. These are specific mineral formations, either natural or placed by ancient hands, that serve as energetic anchors for the geographic area. Think of them as security guards of the Earth's grid. These stones are programmed either by Earth herself or by high-level elemental consciousness to hold a specific frequency in one spot. They act as boundary markers, defining the energetic walls of a sacred site or a specific ecosystem. They also act as data hubs, absorbing the atmospheric and spiritual data and uploading it into a large planetary grid we discussed earlier. And they also act as protectors, deflecting lower frequency static to keep the local energy pure. When a person feels a sudden pull toward a specific rock or a large outcropping while hiking, they are often sensing a sentry stone. It is the literal invitation from the earth to stop, be still, and acknowledge the guardian of that space.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah. I guess, when you go, oh, I got to sit down, and I'm sure there's plenty of rocks, but you pick that one specific one. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. And actually, I think we took a picture, Amy and I did, on this when we were in Sedona, of us sitting on this. It was gigantic. I mean, all three of us are sitting together on this rock, or laying down on this rock. That's how big this rock was.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
So I'm actually going to give you some exercises. So this is about vibrational matching. It is a process of entertaining your rapid human frequency to the stone's deep time pulse. It's not about doing, it's about being in proximity. So the first one is you're going to do the pulse check. This is, instead of just holding the stone, place it on a pulse point, like your wrist or even in the center of your palm. Sit in total silence for 3 minutes. Your goal isn't to feel the magic, it's to wait until you no longer can tell where your skin ends and the stone begins. The next one is going to be a bedside anchor. Place a large piece of selenite or rose quartz on your nightstand. As you fall asleep, consciously tether your breath to the stone. Imagine your breath slowing down to match the steady, unmoving vibration of mineral. It helps transition your brain from high beta stress into earth matching alpha state. I have to say, I do have a piece of selenite under my bed on the side that long wand of it. I don't know. Somebody once said it helped them sleep. So there's a time where I didn't sleep well. So hence the reason why I have a selenite under my bed. I have a Schumann machine on my side table. Hey, it works because I'm sleeping better.
So what I have next is the factory reset. Because minerals are information storage units, like the silicon chips we discussed, they get full of environmental static. Clearing is the reset, programming is the new data. So think of this as clearing a cache on your computer. You use a singing bowl or a bell. That high frequency sound waves physically shake the static out of the stone's lattice. You could also bury the stone in a bowl of raw sea salt or soil for 24 hours. This salt acts as a magnetic drawer, pulling out the stored data and returning it to the earth for recycling. And then once the stone is clear, hold it in your dominant hand. Visualize a specific frequency like calm or focus as a color. Imagine breathing that color directly into the heart of the stone. Speak your intention out loud while touching the stone. Since sound is a physical vibration, you are literally etching that frequency into the crystal's memory. It's very interesting because I never thought about putting it in the ground, putting any stone into the ground, or thinking of a color and whispering or saying out loud the intention.
I was thinking that same thing. I've never done, it makes perfect sense though, to cover it up and for 24 hours. I've never set an intention for a stone either.
Yeah, me neither.
I just assumed it had one. Yeah. Mm-hmm. See, and I think that's why I love doing these episodes, because you get different practice, different ideas of things to do. So I'll 100% try to set an intention with a stone from now on.
Yeah, I've always heard to cleanse them with, well, certain ones you can't cleanse with water and stuff, or putting it by the moon.
Yeah, or the sun. Mm-hmm. I've heard, but the sun can sometimes fade them. That's you risk that for certain stones. But I love the earth one.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think selenite, I don't think that you can actually get that wet. I think it dissolves if you get it wet, isn't it?
It could be. I know it's not like a hard crystal. You drop it on the floor, it breaks. I know that because I've done
Right.
that.
Oh. Mm-hmm. Now, do you charge or recharge or cleanse stones with stones? Like I do it with selenite, but some people don't believe in that.
Oh, I think I might even have a little selenite in my crystal bowl.
Mm-hmm. I have a selenite bowl that I throw everything in. Yeah.
Oh, very cool. Very interesting.
Well, the next segment that we're going to talk about, we're actually going to go into the thermostat. So this is setting your thermostat. So just as the thermostat keeps the room at a steady temperature of, say, 72 degrees, stones can be used to maintain an energetic set point in your home or office space. So you've got the buffer. This is going to be the workspace area. Place shungite and black tourmaline between you and your computer. These minerals are highly conductive and act as grounding wires, absorbing the frantic EMF static of the office so your personal field doesn't have to. Then you have the threshold guardian, which are entryways. Place a sentry stone, like a heavy piece of smoky quartz, right by your front door. Program it with the frequency of transition. Its job is to act as a filter, ensuring that when you or your guests walk through the door, outside world noise is dropped at the threshold. Then you have the peace perimeter, which is your living room. Place 4 small amethyst points in the 4 corners of the room. This creates a mini grid that mimics the planetary grid, holding a constant high vibration tent over the space that resists emotional spikes or arguments. I think that's very interesting. I never thought about the smoky quartz by the door. I mean, I've got a little clutter of things. I'm going to have to go clean it up. Get a smoky quartz.
I have selenite by the door.
I have black tourmaline on the doorway to my bedroom and the doorway to the house, like the main doorway. But I never thought about the door that I use because I come in through the garage, so it's a totally different door. So I never thought about that. I'm going to have to put black well, now I'm, smoky quartz apparently is the one to go with.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I do like the peace perimeter, though.
I know. It's one of those things that it's a small little touch that would help.
Mm-hmm.
So guess what I'm going to be doing after we're done here tonight?
Buying crystals.
Okay, that's an excuse to buy crystals. Yes.
But
I certainly but I have multiple amethyst points that I can maybe strategically place. We'll have to see.
There you go.
After I go buying them, right?
Is that the girl math?
That
buy more crystals so this way you could have more peace.
I like that girl math. It works for me. I know Chris and Nancy would be really into my girl math.
Oh.
Any excuse.
Yes. That's funny. I do not have that many crystals as you guys do. I know Chris has a ton.
Oh my God. And his collection is phenomenal.
Yeah.
I don't have as much as he does. Yeah. I think Chris needs a room soon for all of his crystals.
Yeah. I think so too. He'll probably have more to show us on Monday.
I love it. He has those good ones.
He does.
Yeah.
So we had talked about keepers. We're referring to the specific class of elementals, often called gnomes or earth spirits, whose entire purpose is to slow the steady cultivation of the mineral kingdom. Unlike the quick flickering energy of the air elementals, these beings carry a dense focused resonance. They don't just live in the rocks, they are the consciousness that guides the molecule alignment of a crystal as it grows. They act as the architect of this subterranean world, ensuring that the Earth's bones are structurally sound and energetically balanced. For a seeker, connecting with these elementals require a shift in pace, moving away from the frantic energy of the mind and down into the steady, silent pulse of the feet. Now, we did 2 episodes, one for the nature and elementals and the other on the Fae Kingdom that you could go back and listen to.
They were fun to do.
They were fun to do.
And I learned so much more. Actually, we were talking to Nancy, and Nancy, she's like, I love the gnomes. They're my favorite.
I like them too.
I know.
I like pixies, but I like the gnomes as well.
The pixies are great if you're looking to stir your life up a little bit, because pixies are there to add a little chaos, but in a good way. Not like some of the sprites. I think sprites are like, they can be unseelies.
Yeah.
I think, yeah. Well, I think even pixies can be unseelie at times too.
They all could be. Just how you treat them.
This is so true. So when you look at a crystal on your desk, don't just see it as a decoration. See it as a tool, whether you're clearing its memory or using it to anchor your office energy. You are participating in the same informational storage and a frequency regulation that the Earth is doing on a global scale. One thing to remember, that because these stones are such incredible listeners, literally recording energy of the room, they can get a little full. Think of it like a sponge. If your stone has been sitting at your desk through the stressful month of deadlines and heavy conversation, it's been doing its job by absorbing that noise. So you don't have to. But eventually the sponge does get saturated. Before you try to sit with the stillness and match the stone's frequency, just do a check-in with it. Does that feel heavy or full or dull to you? If it does, you're probably just holding on to some old data. You don't need a complicated ritual. Just give it a reset. Let it sit in the sun for a few minutes or put it back in the earth. It's like giving the stone a chance to exhale all of the human static so it can get back to its natural heartbeat.
I certainly like the reminder to retune your crystal, especially if it's been on a desk where you're filled with work that is like full of anxiety and all that.
I am guilty of I'm looking at my stones and I'm like, oh man, I gotta clean y'all.
You know what I'm going to do? I am going to take my tuning forks.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, give it a little reset.
So how would you go about doing that then? Just kind of hold it next to it?
I think so.
Okay.
Or above it and, try to make sure you get each one.
Great idea. Thank you for the idea.
Yep. So when we get off, that's what we'll be doing. And then eating.
When I get off, I've got to put my amethyst in the corner. I got to clean my rocks. Every time we do an episode, I know. Every time we do an episode, I've got a laundry list of things to do afterwards
Mm-hmm.
to improve my life.
Yep. Before we close today, here's something to keep in mind. Working with the mineral realm is really about grand rituals. It doesn't need massive ceremonies or complex gridding. More often, it shows up as a sudden sense of grounding when you touch a boulder, an inexplicable urge to pick up a specific pebble on a path, a feeling of profound peace that arises naturally when you sit in a canyon. The minerals work through alignment with the bone. They are steady, consistent, and deeply tied to the structural energy of the world. If something feels solid, stabilizing, or quietly eternal, that's often mineral energy at work. Remember, this world is alive and we are literally made of it. You don't need to be a geologist to feel the presence. You just need to slow down, match their pulse, and pay attention. This week, try something. Pick one stone that you already own or find one in nature. Spend just about 2 minutes holding it with no phones, no music, just feeling the weight of it in your palm. Simply acknowledge it as a keeper of the earth's memory. Notice if your own breathing begins to slow down to match its stillness. Then pay attention to how the energy feels for the rest of the hour. I love doing this episode. So, Becky, what are we doing next week?
Well, next week, we leave the foundation of the mineral realm and step into something most of us experience every day. We're entering the plant realm, not as something that you have to understand or study, but as something that you may have already felt. It's an opportunity to notice what's already happening around you. So join us for another adventure. And here are the words for this week from our Woo Woo Seekers Journal, A Journey for Your Signs and Symbols, Book 1, Island and Leader. See what rises, see what resonates. You can find the meditations for these words in our YouTube channel at Woo Woo Seekers. All the words can be found with direct links in our newsletter at comegetwoowoo.com, with new meditations released on the first of every month. If you want to deepen your own journey, explore our other meditation series, Sacred Tree and Soul's Garden, also available on our YouTube channel at Woo Woo Seekers. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks for getting woo-woo with us today. If something sparked a memory, a message, or just made you smile, share it with a fellow seeker, because the journey is always better when you can grow together. Be sure to find us on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube at Woo Woo Seekers, so you can like, follow, and subscribe.
You can also follow us by visiting our website, comegetwoowoo.com. We are so much more than just another podcast. We're building a community of seekers just like us. We love hearing from you. If you've got signs, symbols, or stories that you want to share, email us at woowooseekers@gmail.com. Or any questions about today's episode, you can email us at comegetwoowoo@gmail.com.
Until next time, stay curious, stay open, and as always, come get woo-woo with us.